So, in this video, I'm going to essentially show you how I have built a paid advertising funnel for one of my collaborations using the power of content creation. I will essentially guide you through how I conduct creative funnels for my partners on paid social and more specifically on Meta. And I'm going to do that with the case study slash example of Flisebørsen, a Danish brand selling tiles, a super awesome case study. I have also conducted a case study that's actively on my channel currently, and it's called State of the Art Paid Acquisition on Meta and Offer Creation. And you will essentially learn how I could achieve success for this client of mine using paid advertising on Meta, even though they have had partnerships with some of the most commercial agencies in Denmark that every time have turned out to be a failure, to say the least. And you will also get my insight and methodologies for crafting these creative funnels and essentially see how we could increase performance rapidly in a short amount of time, but more importantly, how you can do the same. Now, before we essentially dig deep, we first need to break down and understand a fundamental advertising principle, because previously the brand was burning thousands of Danish kroner a month unpaid advertising with a really bad ROAS. So you can essentially see some of the ads here, and to say the least, these ads are very purely executed from the content to the copy to the call to action, everything in between. And what I had to do is essentially stop the fire and completely turn the case upside down in order to save the brand for losing ad spend month in and month out. And that's exactly what I did using the teachings from Breakthrough Advertising written by Eugene Schwartz. And if you haven't read this book, I highly recommend that you get a copy and work yourself through the book. You have completely revolutionized the way that I advertise for my client portfolio. And the primary reason why we could achieve success was because we understood the levels of awareness and crafted a creative funnel using content creation for every step of the funnel, because previously the brand was only selling to the 3% of the total addressable market who was active buyers or most aware. The only thing the brand was doing previously was to push a good offer. They were only giving the potential customer a logical reason to essentially convert. And as you may know, when you do that, you're only speaking to the 3% of the market, of the TAM that is actively in the phase of buying slash converting. So what we essentially did was to craft a funnel that could speak to people who were most aware, product aware, solution aware, problem aware, and unaware. And you will essentially see how I helped them build a creative funnel for the entire customer journey, taking a potential customer in his hand and guiding him through the entire journey where he's completely unaware till the day he essentially wants to convert at our store. And that's what we are going to essentially go through now. Now, first and foremost, in this breakdown, you will see how I have created advertising for this client of mine for every single step of the journey. But more importantly, I have also laid out at what step of the awareness levels that the creative that I'm showing you is appealing to. Now, first of all, we are, of course, starting with the people who are most aware, because when you are an advertiser and you enter into a market, you will always reach the 3% of the total addressable market who are ready to buy now, the people who are most aware and just want the essentially best offer. And that's also why you may see that your ROAS is really good at a low level of scale. But as soon as you start to rake up your advertising budget, your ROAS essentially drops. But as you can see here, this is a creative for people who are most aware, meaning people who are in the market ready to buy. And obviously this is in Danish, so I can't read the copy or play the video. But what we are essentially doing here is giving the customer a logical reason to buy. We are essentially telling him in the video that we have the best offer, and we are giving the potential customer a logical reason to convert at our store, because that's what they want at this stage of the funnel, at this stage of the customer journey. They have been through all of the other awareness levels, so they just want the biggest buck for their bang, and that's essentially what we are giving them with a collection. that is selling super well. Some of our hero products and some of our best selling products that we are essentially talking about and guiding the customer to buy, because obviously we have the best offer and we are giving the customer the biggest bang for the buck and giving them the logical reason to convert at our store. Now, product aware and most aware are relatively similar, but when you're dealing with a product aware audience, you have to remember that yes, they understand who you are, they understand your brand, but they don't yet have a crystal clear image in their head of how your product can satisfy their needs. So that's again what we are doing here. You may realize that the type of content, type of creative that we are pushing here is really similar to most aware, where the owner in this case is talking about the product. And yes, because obviously they don't have a crystal clear image, but they still understand who we are. So one, we first need to sharpen their image in their mind about how our offers, about how our products can essentially give them their desire that they are hoping for, but also give them a logical reason to buy. Now, in the most aware audience, we want to be aggressive. We just want to give them a logical reason to convert. And in the product aware audience, we want to essentially sharpen their image and also give them a logical reason to convert. And that's exactly what we are doing here. You can see the owner talking about, or you can't essentially see the video, but you can see the owner. And in this case, he's talking about the way our product can essentially fulfill the desire that our target audience has, which in this case is increased status when you essentially buy a new set of tiles. And then we are also guiding them to essentially purchase some of our best-selling products, which is in this case our marble collection that is selling super well. And again, we are giving them a logical reason to convert. We are telling them we have the best offer, and we are also sharpening their image in their mind, which works super well to a product aware audience. Keep in mind that reviews, testimonials, social proof is also super important, which is something that we have in the back end of the videos, going over the social proof and giving, essentially telling and giving the customer all of the facts about the previous customers that have converted and how happy they have been for their purchase. Now, solution aware, and when you're dealing with a solution aware audience, you have to understand that it's the first time really that your audience is going to essentially see your product in a more native style. And what I mean by that is obviously when you have a problem and unaware audience, you are essentially advertising to more of a top of funnel audience, meaning that you have to essentially craft advertising messages that doesn't directly show or showcase your product. Now, in a solution aware audience, in this case, this is actually the first time that the potential customer is seeing our hero products or seeing our product SKUs. And the reason why is because obviously in a problem aware audience we are focusing on the problems, and in the unaware audience we are focusing on a emotional appeal, which is something that you are going to see just in a minute. But when we are dealing with a solution aware audience, people understand they have a problem, but they don't really understand the solutions out there. So what I'm doing in this case for this client is using something called DPAs, dynamic product catalogs, because these catalogs work like a dream to a solution aware audience, because they can in the app themselves in Facebook without going to our store, scroll a catalog of our products. Now, this catalog is actually our best-selling products or best-selling product collection, which is the marble tiles. So that's why we essentially have them in this catalog here. But it works like a dream because the potential customer can swipe through the products and essentially in Facebook get an understanding of the products that we essentially have, and get an understanding of the products that essentially can help fulfill the problem that he have realized or she have realized that she or he has in this stage of the funnel. Again, it's the first time that we are really trying to sell our high AOV offers, because keep in mind this brand is selling tiles, which is a product of a high average order value. So that's not something we push to our top of funnel stages, which you are going to see in just a minute. But this is essentially the first time that we are introducing our offers, and it works like a dream using catalogs where they can essentially swipe through the catalog to see our products. There are problem where audience that is essentially as straightforward as it is. We are essentially just making sure that we are agitating the problem that our target audience has. We are going extensively into the product, into the problems that you have when you are in the phase of thinking of buying new tiles for your home. That could either be finding a supplier that you actually trust, finding good quality tiles that will last a long time, finding the right guidance from a supplier who isn't looking at you from the side of essentially just scaling a quick buck, but is guiding you to actually purchase something that will be beneficial to you. So we are extensively talking about the problems that our target audience is experiencing in this stage of the funnel, and that's essentially what we are focusing on. You may also realize that we have essentially switched our offers that we are promoting from our main high AOV offers, as you can see in these stages, to our product sample, which you can see on this creative here. And the reason why we do that is because obviously when you are selling such a high AOV product, you don't want to push your most expensive set of collection as a top of funnel ad, because people just started the buying journey and it's not an offer that is suited for cold traffic. So we are essentially combining the problems that our audience has with a product sample tile that is suited for cold traffic, because you can buy a small piece of a tile that you wish, the exact tile that you wish, for $15-20, and you can essentially test them out instead of having to convert, or instead of having to actively and physically find a store that you can go to and visit. So this offer is essentially helping us scale our advertising efforts much faster and much more rapidly front end, and whilst we are maintaining profitable. Plus, it's a offer that is really appealing to people in more colder stages of the funnel. But we are essentially focusing on the problems here, and we are focusing on our product sample tile offer, which is working super well. Now, in the last step of the funnel, we are dealing with an unaware audience, and this is by far the most difficult audience to not even sell to, but to in general advertise to, because unaware pretty much tells you straightforward that these people that you're dealing with here are completely unaware. They don't even know they have a problem. They don't even know any advertisers that can fulfill that problem, and you can't even advertise with logic, meaning that you can't give them a great offer, because obviously these people are not even in a stage of the funnel where they will be receptive to a good offer. So what I'm doing here and what I'm focusing here as an advertiser is just to get a emotional reaction out of our audience using our products, of course, and using the mass design that I know our audience has, which is an increase in status by purchasing our products. And you can see that I'm doing that with a creative over here that essentially has to focus on our products. And what I'm doing here is showing the potential customer the aesthetics of our tiles, and I'm showing the designs of our tiles, which you can see here, and how I'm essentially dissecting the performance, because it's really hard to dissect the performance of your unaware ads, because obviously the ROAS will be terrible, the CPA will be terrible. So how I'm essentially dissecting is mostly based on engagement. You can see that we have positive engagement on this ad creative that says, "Oh my God, I'm in love, recommend 100%," or somebody here says that these tiles look gorgeous, or beautiful tiles, whatever the case might be. Now, as I said, the overall hardcore KPIs will be really terrible when you're dealing with unaware audience, but these are the ads that essentially helps you scale your advertising efforts, because these are the ads that sit top of funnel and helps you essentially and helps you stay profitable and not waste your ad spend when you are bumping out your budget, because these are the ads that takes a potential customer down the funnel and gives the potential customer a positive subconscious association with your brand. And when they are in a stage where they want to convert later down the line, they will be more receptive for your brand, because obviously you started the customer journey with a positive association with your products. So again, it's really hard to dissect the performance. I do it with the engagement. When I run unaware ads, I 9 out of 10 times see the engagement almost blow up within a couple of days time. And when I can see its positive engagement, I know that I have hit it right on the nail, because again, ROAS will be bad, CPL will be bad, but engagement is good. That means that we have that positive association with our target audience, and they have essentially reacted with some type of emotion, which is what we want in this stage of the funnel. Now, this is one of the reasons why we could essentially significantly boost performance and increase budget at the same time. In fact, we have increased the advertising spend, our ad spend, 300% within a month, and went from a ROAS of 3x to almost 9x. We went from having a creative funnel that only spoke to 3% of the total addressable market to having ads that supported the entire buying journey. We also went from having an inefficient system for testing concepts at every stage of the funnel to having a effective way of pumping out new concepts weekly/bi-weekly. So if you feel like that your advertising efforts have stagnated, I highly recommend that you review your entire setup and examine how your spend is being distributed across your entire buying journey. And at the very least, I hope that you enjoyed the video, and I hope that you got some golden nuggets that you can apply for yourself and essentially apply to your advertising setup. That's it for me. See you in the next video. Take care.